Today I'm going to work on picking up Stetson's feet and having him comfortable with me messing with them, cleaning them out, and all that. It's his first time of me working with him. I have picked them up on occasion, but I've never had a lesson with him. He's still pretty new to it. The first exercises I've done with him is the haltering, then all the groundwork exercises, a lot of desensitizing. He is a horse that likes to spook to a lot of things, so then lots of desensitizing. I like to do the groundwork exercises before the feet and trailering, because when you're working with their feet and loading them up in the trailer, you want some trust with that. You want them to trust you, and when you have that be your first exercises, they don't really know you, and so you're gonna have a harder time with that. So I'm gonna work with his feet today. And so the number one thing is first have your horse trust you, do all the groundwork exercises. That way they also respect you, because sometimes when they're disrespectful, it's also really hard to handle their feet. First what I'm going to do is have him comfortable with me just touch him. So I'm going to first I'm just going to start with this leg. I like to start with the front legs first and then move on with the back. So first I'm just gonna rub right here, get him comfortable with that. Good boy. And they're pretty good with this step just because it's pretty much just petting. But as you get down closer to their feet, they're going to react a little bit more. So just continue rubbing. Good boy. Just have him get comfortable. He's cocking it a little bit. It's okay if they lift it up just a little bit, because eventually you're going to want pretty much the cue, either to lift up their foot, either the cue is just rubbing down their leg like that. That's perfect. Or I just tap right here. It kind of just depends. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, continue rubbing him. Good boy. I'm going to do it with the other leg. Good boy. And sometimes what I do is I just put the lead rope over his neck like that as I do it, so that way I could use both hands, but also it's right there just in case if they spook, you can grab it real fast. Good boy. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now I'm gonna do his back leg, and he's pretty used to me touching all over him. It's I brush him each time I work with him. So he's pretty used to it. So when they move like this, I'm just going to follow them and kind of rub right here. Good boy. He stops, so I'm going to release the pressure. Now, like I said earlier, you want to make sure you do all your groundwork exercises before you do this. He has been desensitized to the lead rope, where I can just flop it on his back and he's fine, and around his legs. You want to do this before you ever mess with their feet, because if you notice when they first do it, sometimes they'll kick at the lead rope, and you want them to kick at this first instead of you. So first desensitize them with this, and that way they won't likely kick you as much. You still want to be careful because it could be unpredictable. But also you want to make sure you don't skip any of your steps. Good boy. Good job. Okay, so now I'm going to do step 2. You do it with this leg first. Good boy. So I'm just going to slowly have them pick it up a little bit. Even if they just slightly cock their foot, that's okay. Good boy. So you lifted it, I released the pressure. I'm just going to do that slowly. Good job. So I picked up his foot, set it back down. Good boy. And then I'll rub it. Kind of just release the pressure that way. So that way you know that sometimes, not every time that we touch his leg, he has to lift. Good boy. Okay. Good boy. So you can tap right here. Good boy. Kind of give that cue before you lift so they know. Good boy. So as I was holding it, he was kind of jerking away just a little bit. So I just kind of continued to hold it, and then he stopped, and I released the pressure. Good boy. So another thing I forgot to mention earlier is when you work with their feet, you don't want them tied up. You want them just like this, either in a round pen or even without a round pen. But you want it where you can easily grab control of them if you need. If they spook, because most of the time they spook. Sometimes it is out of disrespect. But you always want to make sure you have a control. You have more control with them like this rather than being tied up. And also, if they are to spook when you mess with their feet when being tied up, it can kind of mess up their tying up progress. Because it's around this time that I also teach them to tie, stand perfectly tied, and he's doing really good with that. So, yeah, and then eventually after you do all their feet just like this, where you could walk around them, pick up each foot without like touching them or whatever, then you could tie them up and do it. So I'm just going to rub his foot right here. This is his other front foot. Good boy. So we picked that up. That was good. Good job. He's actually doing pretty good with this. I've had other horses where it takes a long time to work with them. I had this one, I think it was like a draft or a shire. It was a big breed mixed with a quarter horse. She took a long time to be able to do the feet. She also had huge feet. So, but like for like the first day, I could only like rub right here with her standing still, and then eventually I can rub like down here. It took I'd say about a month for her to fully be good at it, because she'd be really good with picking up all her feet, and then the farrier would come out and work on her feet, and she'd get front into all the tools. Then I'd have to come back, work with her with the tools, and it was kind of tough with her, but she also had big feet, so it kind of made it dangerous when she spooked. I think she actually did step on my foot once, but thankfully not too bad. So all horses are going to be different. Some are going to be this easy. Some are even going to be easier. Like my hot sauce, I like picked up her foot for the first time and she stood still completely. I'm like, wow. And for the first time with the farrier, she did perfect. She did spook, I think, just a little bit, but it wasn't bad at all for the first time. And most of the time after you work with their feet like this, they should be fine for the farrier. I know like sometimes they will spook with the tools, but that's also kind of comes with desensitizing. I will have some tools I desensitize them with. That's why you also pick their feet and just handle them a lot, and then they'll be pretty good with the farrier. Good boy. That was really good. Now I'm going to do his back feet. Now, back feet you have to be kind of a little more careful with, because it's easier for them to kick you with the back feet than the front. Even though you want to be careful with all four, but you're just going to just do it slowly, boy. Good job. Very good. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. So we did move a little bit, and so when they do move a little bit, when I go to pick up the feet, I'll just kind of step back a step and rub it with them standing still. Good boy. And then I'm going to try asking them to pick it up. Good boy. That's good. As soon as they pick it up, you want to release the pressure. Good boy. Very good. Yes. Okay, so I do that about 3 times with each foot. You did really good. And so the first step was rubbing each of his legs. And before I move on with the next, I make sure they can do that completely, standing still. You don't want to rush each step. Rushing can kind of cause them to spook a little more, or can kind of mess up just a little bit. So you want to take it slow. Like I said, with each thing you're teaching the horse, and with each horse, go the horse's pace and not yours. He's doing really good. I could probably clean out his feet if I wanted to, but we're not quite to that step just yet. He's standing really nicely. I'm really happy with how he's doing. He thinks through things pretty nice. He used to not. He used to spook a lot. Like something would spook him and he would be across the pen. And most of the time he'd try running me over too. But he has done so much better. You like that? I have done all sorts of desensitizing exercises with him. I've desensitized him with this, with the lunge stick, with the tarp, with me, where I could like pat him all over. He's doing really good. So that's why I do all the desensitizing first before the feet, because you don't want them to spook when doing the feet. I mean, they will sometimes, but working desensitizing first keeps them from spooking as much. Okay, so we've been able to rub all of his feet. Not sure if you can see. I'm going to bring him over here. Good boy. Okay, so we've been able to rub all of his feet. We've been able to ask him to pick it up. Good boy. Gonna do it again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, just like I did there, I picked it up and held it a little bit. And each time you pick it up, you want to hold it a little longer. Good boy. He's licking his lips. That's a sign of relaxing. Good boy. He's losing a lot of his winter hair right now. Okay. I'm going to do that again. Good boy. So that was very good. So now as I pick it up, I'm going to kind of scrape it like this, tap it. He's moving a little bit. Just going to kind of follow him until he relaxes. Once he relaxes, which you just did right there, you're going to put it down. Good boy. You're doing good. You can do that again. Okay, so he spooked to this lead rope right there. It's good to teach them to have their head up. He's kind of wanting to put it down, sniffing and looking at what I'm doing. And sometimes to help with that is have someone hold him. But that also will come with like him tying. So I'm just going to kind of hold this right here, kind of keep his head up. Good boy. Good job. We'll put this a little more here so it doesn't slide down. Good boy. Good job. Okay, so now once you do that with one foot, you're gonna work with that with all of his other feet. Picking it up, having it hold a little longer. You can start tapping it if the horse is ready. If not, just start with picking it up a little longer. So it's good to go the horse's pace. So now I'm gonna work with his other feet. So I just finished working with each of his feet. He did really good. He did pretty much just stand there while I picked them up, tapped them, and different things. He did just move a little bit, but honestly not too bad. It was very good, especially for his first time. When working with their feet for the first time, for actually first couple times, depends how they do. I do not use the hoof pick. Because first I just want them picking it up with allowing me to just pick it up without them moving. Also, with them freaking out, a hoof pick can kind of just get in the way and can also hurt you or even the horse. So it's good to make sure they can stand perfectly still before using it. So yeah, he did really good. This is just his first lesson. So this is pretty much all I'm gonna do for his first lesson. He did really good. He actually, I was able to move on pretty good with him. I was able to rub all of his feet, pick him up, tap him. Some horses you can't even do all that all in the first lesson. So he did really good. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I'm not really going to move on with any other exercises. Even when they do really good with all the other ones, you want to end on a good note. You also don't want to do it too much because sometimes, especially with their feet can get tired from picking up all the time. You don't want to do it so much where they get a little frustrated and they start kind of moving a lot and fighting back a little bit. So always end on a good note. You're really good.